Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we're going to go over some game updates and some games that are very near and dear to my heart and this channel. And please stick around to the very end because I'm going to reveal a hidden gem that I think you should be playing. But let's not waste any more time and get into the game updates. Okay, first up we have the Light Brigade in the 3.2 update. The Hunter yet again has a new passive. Landing multiple shots on target stacks damage. This was probably done to make boss fights a bit more manageable, as before they became kind of pin-cushiony. But now with that stacked up damage, you're going to be able to take them down just a little bit easier. This also will probably save you a bit of ammo to just further address the class's ammo issues. Knives are also now just a bit easier to throw. There's been a bunch of bug fixes, and now enemies actually have a slight aim penalty when you're peeking from around cover. And I think that's a great addition to the game, because before you would kind of just peek out and get met with a little bit of instant karma. Okay, now I've been debating on making a new video for the Light Brigade because I wanted to go over some ideas. I wanted to share some ideas I had with you on new content in ways that I think the game could be even better than what it already is. The Light Brigade is a fantastic game and I love it to death, but I do have some ideas. If that's the type of video you want to see, let me know in the comments. And if you want to stay up to date on all this information, please press that subscribe button. I'm inching ever closer to that 1,000 subscriber benchmark, and I would just love to make $3 a month making YouTube content. So, if you want to help me get there, you know what to do. Okay, let's move on. With that self-plug out of the way, it's time for Pistol Whip. Pistol Whip just keeps on giving. In early June, Cloudhead Games dropped the Void Slayer update, adding in 3 new scenes and even more game modifiers. And it was all added for free. If you haven't bought this game yet, what the hell are you waiting for? In my opinion, Pistol Whip is the best music rhythm game in all of VR. And if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments, especially if your favorite game rhymes with Meat Saber. Let's duke it out. Okay, this next one is a mod, but Deep Rock Galactic will always be a special game for me. And it just launched Season 5, which brought a new mission type. We can now play what's called a Deep Scan mission. This mode works with DRG, the mod. However, you will be at a minor disadvantage when playing this game mode with the mod. The HUD information that tells you if you are close enough to the object requires a button press to see. It's not a huge deal, but this is useful information that's not quite as easily accessible to us VR players. You can certainly still complete the mission. It's more of just a small annoyance. But in typical Deep Rock fashion, this update also adds in just a ton of new content. New enemies, seasonal events like the Core Stone, new difficulty settings, and yes, more overclocks. The caves of Deep Rock are just infested with content, and it's a wonderful time to jump in. I highly recommend this game and the VR mod. And if you want to know more about it as a whole, check out my video that I did on it a few months back. Or head over to the Flat to VR Discord, download the mod, and dive into the caves with me. Okay, next up we have some really exciting news for PSVR 2 players. Phasmophobia has a release date. However, you're gonna have to wait till Halloween. And we did hear that last year. Originally, Phasmophobia was slated to release in Halloween of 2023 and then got pushed back with an indefinite release date. Well, now we know what that release date is. The Phasmophobia dev team is now working hand in hand with the people at Unity to iron out some of the game's performance issues. Make no mistake, PSVR 2 fans out there. When Phasmophobia does launch, it will have bugs. That is just Phasmophobia. It is a buggy game by nature. All sorts of wacky things happen. Sometimes it's annoying, sometimes it's part of the game's charm. But this game will not launch bug-free, yet people still love the hell out of it, myself included. It's good to see that the game has a release date yet again. However, you still will not be able to interact with objects in the game using your voice, which was one of my favorite parts of Phasmophobia. There were 3 items that you can use to interact with the game world and the ghost. The first is the spirit box, and that's a big one, because it is something that is used to gather evidence, which is the core of the game. sit and you talk to the ghost on this walkie-talkie type of thing, and if the ghost responds back, you have evidence that it is a spirit box type of ghost. And it's just so damn gratifying to use your voice to talk to it and have it talk back to you. In the console release, you will only be able to do that via these text prompts that you select. So it is going to detract from the immersion a little bit. There are other items that you can interact with using your voice, such as the Ouija board that you can ask it questions, and then you can make wishes using the monkey paw. And you can wish for all sorts of crazy stuff, like different weather, to trap a ghost in a certain room, or to see the ghost on demand. Those you don't use as often as the spirit box, but it does sound like Kinetic Games, which is the dev team behind Phasmophobia, is working on a solution, but they haven't announced anything yet, and quite frankly, there may never be a solution, but it's still well worth playing without it. Okay, moving on. The Ancient Dungeon multiplayer is now officially out of beta. You can now easily party up with friends and delve deeper into the depths of the unknown, at least on the Steam and Quest versions of the game. The PSVR 2 multiplayer update is still on the way, it's just taking a bit more time to bring that version in line with the others so that they all have crossplay together. And we're probably talking a couple weeks to a couple of months for that to happen, but not a very significant amount of time. The devs have always been very good with interacting and communicating with the community, so I would expect to see that soon. My gut tells me by the end of summer, PSVR 2 players will be able to play this game in multiplayer. Okay, so I promised you a hidden gem game, and today's game is Eternal Starlight. It is a space RTS roguelike where you control a small fleet of battleships and attempt to save your homeworld by building your army and making allies along the way. There are a ton of little details in this game that matter. Stuff like which side of your ship you put your lasers on, and there's also just a plethora of cool power-ups and ship abilities and unlockables. It's a very tactical game that doesn't feel overwhelming. The battles are small and fast for a space RTS. This game kind of reminds me of a mashup between FTL and Ender's Game. If they had a baby, it would be Eternal Starlight. Give the game a look. It's damn addicting, and you can buy it on Steam and Quest for around $15. And that's it for today's video. Thank you for joining me. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more content like this from me. And please consider subscribing. I'm just so damn close to getting to that 1,000 subscriber benchmark, and your help would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, and catch you next time.